crimes. They're falsifying business records. That sounds so bad. To me, it sounds very bad. You know, it's only a misdemeanor, but to me, it sounds so bad. When they say falsifying business, that's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before. I'm falsifying. You know what falsifying business records is? In the first degree. They say falsifying business records. Sounds so good, right?
It probably sounds bad because it is bad. Trump was just rambling incoherently at Trump Tower in New York City, trying to defend himself after he was convicted on all 34 counts of falsifying business records. And what I noticed from that clip is how limited this man's vocabulary is. He knows like 4 words and it's very, very good, or very, very bad, or tremendous. Even with his experience as president and all of this experience campaigning, his vocabulary has not grown at all, and this is further proven in this next clip when he randomly says the word salacious like he learned it 5 minutes before but doesn't quite know how to use it in a sentence. He just randomly throws the word out there. Watch this clip.
Other people weren't able to testify, but with these people, they were able to use people salacious. By the way, and nothing ever happened. There was no anything. Nothing ever happened, and they know.
Donald Trump then practically begins begging on live TV not to go to jail, asking why no one ever feels bad for him. He feels terrible for himself. It's all about him. He also brings up the age card, saying they're going to convict a 77-year-old and send him to jail. Watch this clip.
They didn't want him to testify. That's why he went to jail. They put him in jail twice. He's 77 years old. Now, normally I'd say that's an old guy, but I don't feel 77. Nobody ever says that about me. I'd like them to say, gee, we have to have a little sorrow for this man, because they just don't say that about me, but maybe I'm better off that way. I think I'm probably better off that way, but they put him in.
Gee, we have to have a little bit of sorrow for the man who falsified business records with the end goal of influencing the results of an election. We have to have a little bit of sorrow for the man who stole classified documents, then played cat and mouse with the FBI for a year. We have to have a little bit of sorrow for the man who made up lies about widespread, unprecedented election fraud in all of these swing states, then doubled down on those lies after it was proven wrong in court, then tripled down by calling different election officials across the country, asking them to find votes, then quadrupled down by holding a rally at the Ellipse while Mike Pence was certifying the results of the election. This is a man who has been a criminal throughout his entire life, and there is no reason to feel sorry for him, even if he tells you to, but I know MAGA is probably eating this up. Then Donald Trump said that nobody has ever had a gag order. Watch this.
Went through one of many experiences where we had a conflicted judge, highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before. I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands of dollars in penalties and fines and was threatened with jail.
This is only confirming the theory that Donald Trump was purposefully pushing the limits of this gag order so he could act more like a victim after he was convicted, and that is exactly what he did. But he did say nobody has ever been under a gag order. Then he corrected himself and said no presidential candidate has ever been under a gag order, but this is kind of a unique case. No presidential candidate has ever done what he's done in total. I mean, I could rattle off the entire list of crimes he's committed, but just know no presidential candidate has falsified business records in this way and been convicted. And then no presidential candidate has attacked the judge's daughter, other members of the court. Donald Trump said, I've had to pay thousands of dollars. You've had to pay like $10,000, and it was all your own doing. It was after you decided to break this gag order knowingly. You have lawyers. Your lawyers probably told you to stop doing this, but you kept on going. Donald Trump then says he wanted to testify. He wanted to, but this is why he didn't. Watch.
Would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify, because as soon as you testify, anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to. But the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case. Because I would have loved to have testified. To this day, I would have liked to have testified. But you would have said something out of whack, like it was a beautiful sunny day and it was actually raining out. And I very much appreciate the big crowd of people outside. That's incredible what's happening.
Trump has fully devolved into speaking like a toddler, saying, was he a good boy? Was he a bad boy? I don't know what he's talking about. Trump then began to repeat that he's very honored to be involved in being convicted with 34 felonies. Watch.
That I'm honored. In a way, I'm honored. It's not that it's pleasant. It's very bad for family. It's very bad for friends and businesses. But I'm honored to be involved in it because somebody has to do it. And I might as well keep going and be the one. But I'm very honored to be involved because we're fighting for our Constitution. The money that was paid legally. There was nothing illegal.
Trump then calls Michael Cohen a sleazebag, but then says he can't say his name. Watch.
Again, if I wrote down and paid a lawyer, and by the way, this was a highly qualified lawyer. Now, I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But, you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that. Took me a while to find out. But he was effective. He did work. But he wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. You know, they like to use the word fixer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. At the time, he was a fully accredited lawyer.
Trump then makes the claim that we're living in a fascist state with absolutely no evidence to back it up. This is what happens when somebody is finally held accountable for their lifetime of committing crime. They say we're living in a fascist state, but the fact that this dude is the Republican nominee just blows my mind.
We're living in a fascist state. He was told that viciously. So you can go to jail for 4 months, 5 months, or you can get 15 years in jail, so do a plea.
Donald Trump then just began incoherently ranting and raving like a stream of consciousness. Aaron Rupar on Twitter said, if I were sitting in a bar and the guy next to me started to rant like this, I would get up and walk out, and that is very true. Just watch this clip with that in mind.
So we're going to show them that we're going to fight. It's actually, I don't know, it's something where I'm wired in such a way that a lot of people would have gone away a long time ago. They would have gone away after impeachment hoax #1. That was a total hoax. I had great support from the Republican Party, though. Then you had impeachment hoax #2. And then they formed the committee. How about they formed the committee of thugs, the J6 committee of thugs. And they took their records and they destroyed all of the records after the committee was abandoned, because those records were great for us. Now, can you imagine if Republicans did that? Everybody would have been in jail by now. Think of it, the unselect, I call it the unselect. They call it select committee. I call it the unselect committee of thugs. They meet. It's 100% Democrat and 2 past Republicans that are no longer Republicans, that are no longer in business anymore. Thank you. But it was all Democrats and 2 wayward Republicans. Liz Cheney and crying Adam Kinzinger. He cries every time he goes on television. He's the most emotional human being I think I've ever seen.
Again, I'm really getting sick of listening to his limited vocabulary rants. My name is Adam Mockler. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, and have a great day yourself.